All right. Welcome to the Scorched Earth podcast for Sunday, February 3rd. This is the sports division. And it's been quite a day, that's for sure. One of the things I really, really enjoy is golf. I like to golf. I'm not very good at it. I love watching it. I think it's fascinating. I have always been one of the biggest Phil Mickelson fans, and unfortunately, I think he kind of sold his soul for gold. The comments that he made to Alan Shipnuck, the writer for Golf Digest and other assorted entities, about he understood that the Saudis were scary mofos and that they killed Khashoggi, but he didn't care. He was going to get his money. I'm paraphrasing that, but basically at the end of the day, it was all about money. And for my entire life, I've loved Phil. He was my Arnold Palmer to Jack Nicklaus or Tiger Woods. He wasn't as good as Tiger, but boy, he put on a show. He was exciting. You knew he was always going for it. Great career. Immortal. One of the greats. Just a piece of crap as a human being, though. And the Khashoggi comments were big. The live thing was big. Being a degenerate gambler didn't help him. I keep wondering about the live thing. And the PGA Tour has been in that bitter fight with live for a couple years now. We were told a year ago that they were going to come to some resolution. They were going to merge. They were going to take money from them. And it seems like they were kind of stringing live along. And Liv fought back by signing Jon Rahm. And at the end of the day, if this Liv thing doesn't work on Fox, the PGA Tour is going to win. They are. They just don't have any TV. I don't really care if they've got $1 billion or $2 billion to put into golf. At some point, they're going to run dry. They really are. At some point, the losses are so astronomical, they're going to be like, oh, we got to cut. We got to cut bait. Okay, this is money we can put into the Emirates League or, EPL or whatever. They're not going to be doing this stupid golf tour. And let me tell you, I've watched it. I tried to watch it on the CW. It's terrible. It is terrible, man. The rock music and they're dancing and, oh my gosh. And David Faraday, he sold his soul for a couple trinkets of gold, the Pharisees at the temple. And, look, if I'm David Faraday and they offer me $4 million a year, yeah, I'm going. Sure. I only got to do, 18 events a year, let's go. I don't have to slug it out. So I'm watching the PGA Tour, and I will give you betting advice every week. I told you this week I like Justin Rose. He's on the leaderboard. He is in the second group at the end. I really wanted to see him with McIlroy and Shane Lowry. I thought he would have a lot better day today on Sunday if he was with them. He is with, unfortunately, the human rain delay, Anthony Kim. I enjoy golf. Everybody I know tells me how boring golf is. But if you really watch golf, it's not that boring because they got a shot every 15 seconds. That is until they get to Anthony Kim. And I enjoy CBS. I enjoy NBC doing golf. But they are worse propagandists than Tokyo Rose. Everybody is great. They're all kumbaya. They're all great human beings. Yeah, we found out after that 10 years of Tiger sainthood that maybe he wasn't quite the saint we all thought he was. Now, the funny part is I couldn't stand Tiger. I hated Tiger. I thought he was I always just thought he was a phony. But he was a great golfer. Can't deny that. But when that whole scandal came out, blah, blah, blah. Well, when Liv came out, that was really earth-shattering to me because supposedly Liv offered him between $800 million and $1 billion to go join their tour, and he turned it down. And I'm thinking, wow, even if you have $1 billion, how do you not take $1 billion? And he was worried about legacy and that. And honestly, the funny part is he hasn't won a PGA Tour since Liv came out. It wouldn't have mattered. It really wouldn't have. But kudos to him. I would have took the money. How am I going to? I'm not going to lie. I would have took the cash. And when these people say I wouldn't take the money, yeah, right. Until they put it in front of you, or even how about if they put 1/100th of it, $10 million in front of you? I'd be swimming over to Saudi Arabia to be in that first event. No big deal. But I was watching the third round of the Pebble Beach, and Anthony Kim. Wow. This guy is just terrible on terrible. Literally, when he lines up for a shot, you can go ahead and cut away to two other guys, Shetler, McIlroy. They're going to hit their shots, and then you can come back, and this guy is going to do his final waggle and then hit the ball. And they did a really interesting thing, real cute little bait and switch. Jim Nantz says, we're going to find out from Anthony Kim what he thinks of the process. And then Anthony Kim, and I thought it was an interview, and Anthony Kim comes on and says, well, it's not about winning the tournament. It's about doing the process for every shot. Yeah, no kidding. It seems like 20 minutes for every one. And then at the end of this little quote-unquote blurb, the Titleist logo comes on. I was like, wow. Now the interviews are getting sponsorship. Like, wow, there you go. And I'm telling you, I watched him. I think he was on 17 and he was putting. And I was like, when is this guy going to pull the trigger, man? I remember back in the day, Bryson DeChambeau, that was one of the big laments against him, is this guy have a 4-foot putt, and he'd go to the other side of the hole. He'd come back. He'd go back. He'd come back. I remember there was one clip, I think it took him 3 minutes to line up a 4-foot putt. And he's like, well, it's no big deal because the guys ahead of us were on the tee. Well, yeah, I get it, but what about the guys waiting in the fairway? Bryson DeChambeau, because, he won the U.S. Open. All of a sudden, he's the golden boy. Yeah, okay. That guy's a jerk on a jerk. Whatever. I can't stand him. As far as I'm concerned, other than Jon Rahm, all the guys that went over to Liv, they can stay there. I like Brooks Koepka. I think that guy's a winner. But at the end of the day, Dustin Johnson, what are we missing there? No interviews all year. He's going to win 2 tournaments. Okay, great. Go out there, take your money. You got your wife, you got your father-in-law, the Gretzkys. Just do you. But most of those guys, I could really care less. So I was hoping, like I told you, I had Justin Rose. I got him at he was 170 to win the tournament, but I didn't take him to do that. I took him to get a top 20. Looks pretty good, but you know how golf is. The older guys, they can blow up in the final day. Personally, I hope he just shoots par. I'll be able to cash the top 20. Bingo. I really think it's between Shane Lowry and McIlroy, and honestly, I'm rooting for Shane Lowry. I love that guy. He just always seems happy. And it was an interesting thing when I saw Rory being interviewed by Amanda Balonis. He called him Sheen. And I was like, I've never heard that name for Shane Lowry. It's always Shane Lowry, and he called him Sheen. Yeah, I guess the sheen is off the fabric. Should be a nice battle. I like it. The leaderboard is really dotted with foreigners. All right, we're going to go back to some Super Bowl props. We're running a little long tonight. I got props here. Will the Chiefs score a touchdown in the first quarter? Plus 110. Second quarter, minus $1.65. Yeah, that seems like a real good bet there. Will the Chiefs score a touchdown in the third quarter? Minus $1.05. Yes. No, I don't like that. Will the Chiefs score a touchdown in the fourth quarter? It's minus $1.60. Kind of a big number. The safety is plus 800. I always take that. I know it's a sucker bet. It's a bet that me and my dad have always had. Sometimes it pays off. Sometimes it doesn't. Here is the interesting one. Will there be a safety in the first half? It's plus 1,200. The same for the second half, plus 1,200. Personally, I'd rather put all that money into just a safety period. You know, I understand if you want to really roll the dice and go, oh, it's going to be one in the second half, 12-1. You know, the last play of the game, kind of like when Baltimore played San Francisco in 2014. I had that. I had the last scoring play being a safety. This year, I looked at them. They're anywhere between 60 and 80-1. It's a thought, especially for the last play of the game. You keep thinking about it. I take it back, not the last play of the game, the last scoring play of the game. Here's the other interesting ones. Will the game be decided by exactly 1 point? Yes is plus 1,600. That is an interesting bet, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I think we live in an era, and I took that. I'm going to tell you why. Because this is a 1 point game. It's a pick'em game. I think what we're seeing now is if, let's just hypothetically say, Kansas City's up by 7. And Philadelphia comes down, there's 30 seconds left. I think either team, but let's just say Philadelphia for argument's sake here, Philadelphia is going to go for 2. Either way, it's going to be one win, a 1 point win, or 1 point loss. I think the odds makers are missing that. That is the one I think they are really, really missing. And it's 16-1 at the Superbook. It's a thought. Will the game be decided by exactly 2 points? 16-1. I don't like that as much. But that's the same thing. If the team's up by 8, they go for it, they miss. You know, that's what you're saying, but I don't like it. Sorry. The game be decided by 3 points. I also took this one. It's plus 375. At the end of the day, this could be just like Kansas City against Buffalo. You know, field goal at the end wins it. Will the game be decided by 4 points? Good luck. 15-1. I like the 1 point better, way better. Then they got by 5 points, 6 points. These are 10 and 15-1. Will the game be decided by 7 points plus 600? Interesting. All right. I'm a little out of energy. Please hit the subscribe, hit the like button, leave some comments. Tell me what you like on the props, and we will talk about it more tomorrow. All right.